if I don't keep my hand right here, then the sun is just gonna blow my face out. So I'm gonna use my hand at some point here in the video, but for now, anyway. Something that I've been looking at a lot is when I choose to do something different, right? Stepping outside of comfort and familiarity, or I should say, expanding comfort and familiarity. You know, the entire reward system, neurochemically and everything, it switches, it changes, right? When you do the same thing every single day, for instance, if what you are comfortable with, what you're familiar with, what you get a rush from is listening to a certain type of music every day on your way to work or while you're working, right? But then you choose to do something else because that other thing that you do is going to bring a different reward, right? Maybe you decide to listen to an audiobook, for instance, right? Now, imagine if you choose to do that consistently and stop listening to your favorite music that you're always listening to, that you're comfortable and familiar with, right? And what's fascinating is that I've watched basically like how I am when it comes to like putting on an audiobook rather than listening to music, right? And there's a different and specific reward that comes with listening to that audiobook, right? The ROI is learning, it's education. But the fascinating thing that I've noticed here, and I mean, I can imagine that this is probably just like, obvious, right? But really, the fascinating thing is this is change in an individual, right? Choosing to do something different, stepping into the unknown and doing something that, might not produce the same neurochemicals as the other things that I've previously done have really ignited and like set off and everything. It's a different endeavor. It's a different direction. It's a different path, right? And so what I'm here to talk about is the challenge of like actually continuing to choose that. I was going to say the challenge of remaining consistent, but consistent is much more of like, it's not that it's black or white, but I've always seen consistency as like all or nothing. Like you either do it every day or you don't do it at all, right? But that's not really what consistency is, right? Consistency is just kind of like steadily showing up, right? But when you choose to do something different, when you're choosing to expand your comfort zone, expand what is familiar to you, right? It really creates a different dynamic because you're not feeding your body the same high that it previously got, right? Maybe you used to, or maybe what you're used to listening to is, I don't know, pop, and it really sets you off in a great way. Maybe it's rock, maybe it's hip hop, maybe you love, rapping to the lyrics and stuff and going along with the beat and everything. That was my attempt at like, yeah, what? Just my nonverbal cue. I swear I'm not that goofy when it comes to like rapping and stuff. I enjoy rap and hip hop. I am actually a lyricist myself, specifically in the genre of rap and hip hop. But yeah, you choose to do something different. And it's kind of challenging because maybe when you choose to do that thing, you're expecting the same neurochemical high to come from it, right? You're expecting that feel good, I'm on fire, I'm on cloud nine, I'm on top of the motherfucking world, but then it doesn't happen, right? And then you kind of want to like default back to the old ways of doing things, of just like listening to music, right? But it's necessary to understand that the reward is the educational experience, right? But really what this video is about is just exploring the challenge of choosing differently, because that's what a lot of healing is about. When what you're used to is drama and gossip, and you do actually get a high from that, because you get a high and I'm not here to shame anybody, but you get a high from, I don't know if it's, masochistic or whatever it is. I don't know if it's sadomasochistic. I don't know if it's sadistic. I don't know what it is, but, drama and gossip, a lot of it entails looking at another person's life and realizing that their life is going off far worse than yours is, and there's somewhat of a high that comes with that. It's like, oh, at least I'm not doing that bad, right? Maybe it's kind of like, vicarious living. When I say vicarious, I think of Tool, one of my favorite bands. Dope track, by the way. If you don't know who Tool is, I definitely recommend them. But yeah, that's the challenge that comes with choosing something different, is recognizing that the entire experience neurochemically is going to be different, right? It might feel dry. It might not happen right away. It might take, if it's an audiobook and you have a 2-hour commute a day to and from work, then that's 2 hours that you could listen to an audiobook. And I'm not here to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. Not at all. I'm not on that unsolicited advice game. But what I am here to do is say that if you are looking to make change in your life, if you're looking to do things differently, you're going to experience things differently. And when I say that, I mean you might not get the same neurochemical high that you're comfortable with and familiar, that really, brings you to life and everything and makes you feel good. It might be different. And understanding that that's okay and that that's not something to avoid is hugely beneficial, because it can totally transform the dynamics of how you experience life. And the reward might be educational rather than, in the moment dopamine high. But that shouldn't, take somebody off the path of actually choosing differently, especially if that different choice can be so positively life-changing. Different things in life come with different experiences, and it doesn't always need to be about the dopamine high. It doesn't need to always be about, the comfort and the familiarity, because when you can really, step beyond that and choose something differently, you can really change your life. And that's really how change in life happens and works.